Ladies, welcome to the new episode where we talk about how to make him talk about his feelings, how to make him say what he thinks about you, how much he loves you, how much important you are in his eyes. Coach Andres, how are you doing today?
What's going on? That's enough talking right there, right?
Yeah.
That's it. All right, cool. Sure. All right, I'm very curious about this. I want to hear what you got to say about this. For
Sure, because I think that's a very important topic. I would coach so many women that came to me and said, Alex, I want him to communicate his feelings. I want him to tell me how beautiful I am. And I want him to tell me how much he loves me. And you know what is my response all the time, Coach Andres?
Why? No.
My response is, my wife says the same about me. At least she was saying the same because I worked on myself. I understood that if I want to keep her, I need to step up my game. But, I mean, I always respond that it's tough for a guy to be vulnerable. It's really tough for us. We share the same background in a way that we were playing basketball, like sports was all my life. We are boys, which means that when we grew up showing vulnerability.
Yeah, traditional
crying,
dads who are like tough but loving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I always heard that showing my emotions was a sign of weakness and I should not do it. So how now I can just, in my relationship, in my marriage, how can I really express my love? That's tough. It's counterintuitive for me. So that is the reason number one, I would say men don't express the feeling. Do you see something else?
Well, it's not that we don't appreciate talking or being talked to. It's that we just don't prioritize it because we've had so much time in our lives not making it an important factor of our everyday situation. It's all about like getting things done. Find security, stability, safety, provide, work. Like we're old school in that sense. Now it's kind of a little more different these days, but which is great. But we just don't have the experience or the practicing of being open or at least confident to express our feelings. And so what I always say to this situation is if the guy's not showing through his actions and then you need to overcompensate with the words, there's a problem. But if you feel the affection, the love, the romance, the beauty, the attention through his actions, then the words are just extra. And then again, you also look at it with maybe love languages as well. I think that's a huge part of how we actually communicate on nonverbal things.
Mm-hmm. I love what you mentioned about the love languages. And this is, of course, my response. So when I tell them, you know, you ladies, when you come to me and say, hey, Alex, I want my man to tell me something. I want my man to show me emotions and love. And I'm always asking, do you know if he's showing love another way?
There you go.
Because I feel like men are really focusing on act of service. Mm-hmm. So when you need them, even at 2 a.m., they are here. When you want to talk to someone because your day was difficult, they are here. They will listen. They will help you. Yes, we are more solutions oriented, but still at the end of the day, when it comes to love, there is also ways to express love.
I think what I was saying earlier yesterday about filming with how men might maneuver more naturally in practical support compared to emotional support will make your day easier. We'll take care of something for you. We'll make sure this works out better for you. We'll set you up for success. We'll encourage you for something different compared to that emotional, vulnerable, verbal way of discussing that support. We still want you to feel loved and respected and admired from us. We just happen to work in different ways. So I would say in this situation with clients in this scenario, if you know that man loves you and he has practical support, he's loyal and respectful and committed to you, and you kind of want maybe a little more in the sense of verbal exchange, I would say initiate it. Be it before you ask it.
Okay, let me ask you this question. How can they initiate?
Whatever you're craving from him, give him.
Interesting.
And surprise him.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're looking for this compliment or this attention or this surprise or this compliment in some form, show it. Be it before you ask it.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres. No, that's very interesting because if you watch my videos, ladies, you know me, I'm really a big believer into the push and pull, balance of power. But when it comes to men and communication, I will have a different point of view of my usual videos. I will always mention that if you want something from a man, you need to express it.
Yes.
Because I've seen good men, and only good men, when they hear not a reproach, it's not that you're blaming them, but when they hear something that you want them to do, they will do it.
Yes.
Maybe not perfectly, but they will try it. So if right now you're telling him, look, I love our connection. I love our mindset. I love our relationship. I love this and that about you. I would love for you to tell me what you love more. I would love to hear some words of appreciation. I can guarantee you that he will do it. But if you don't ask for it, usually a guy doesn't even know that you're not happy like this.
I agree. We don't even think about it. Not that we don't appreciate it, not that we don't value it, not that we don't even want it. We just don't, we're not accustomed to having that. Like if you never gave us candy, then we don't really miss candy.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So now that we're like, oh, guess what? I like candy. I like this specific type. And so you kind of, ladies and women out there, which is a beautiful thing because you guys are way more emotionally developed and mature and can handle more than us men. And it's really, it's an honor to coach women because I learned so much to become a better man and a coach, is that take initiation on those things. And I've suggested to clients before too, make it fun. You know what I mean? Put on some candles, open a bottle of wine, maybe when the kids are gone, or do something at maybe like a nice restaurant or on the beach. Make it fun. Create the scene. Don't just have this like, I want to hear more compliments. I want you to tell me how beautiful I am. I'm like, well, you're wearing sweats and it's 7 a.m. right now. Let me have my coffee first. Come on. Like, don't make it such a therapy session. And you're also looking at it where if you feel like this conversation is saving the marriage or the relationship, then we got a bigger problem. You're only trying to grow and advance the relationship. So don't take things for granted. Have more fun. Show some more gratitude towards, I love this person. We're getting along. I kind of want to see how we can go further on certain things on untapped territory. So have fun with it.
You know, it's very interesting what you mentioned because this is part of the mistakes that we are seeing. And there is another mistake related to what you mentioned. Don't make it as a problem.
Yeah.
Because if you touch a man's ego, that's when it's just closed off and stonewalling you, and then you cannot get nothing from this guy.
Yep.
I've seen so many women that will go, and they come to me after, of course. They say, look, I just wanted some appreciation, but now he's really mad at me, almost ghosting me. Because the way you talk to a guy is very important. If you tell him, you're never telling me anything right, this is problem with you, I can't stand like this. The problem is that this guy will tell himself, this is not okay.
No. What do I need to do and how much do I need to do to change that person's energy? That sounds exhausting. Like you are already fatigued to a point where you're just so pissed off. Is a compliment really going to do that? And I'm sorry for that person to be in that situation. Really am. But there's ways to kind of not let things boil over.
Yeah.
And so be more preventive, be more proactive, and have more fun with it in a sense where it's going to be sexy.
Because if you are not proactive, what will happen? You will just keep things within yourself and then you will explode. And when you explode and you try to make it work after, that's called a breakup, ladies. Yes. You need to be careful on this one. So it's not to say it's your fault. It's not to say you're not able to receive words or it's not a good feeling for you to wish that. But just be careful.
And not only that, when you kind of hold things in, like you said so much, then you become too critical. You didn't say it this way. Oh my God. Sorry. I didn't say it that way. Like, you know, they analyze every little detail of something. I said, I love you so much. You said, I love you. Like, come on. You're like, I've heard the craziest over the thought, like insecure, just validations they needed because there was something else going on. And so if you're asking for a man to open up and they're not good at it, but they want to do it because they care about you, like, let them do it their way. Accept and embrace how they are. And don't look at as their opinion as in, oh, it's not the way you would have done it. Value that they're actually trying to do it their way. And so you can learn from each other. And so, again, us men think differently where we don't know what you're thinking. We never will, and vice versa. So don't put us in that situation. Don't set us up for failure. Like, be realistic in that situation. Because, again, the more, let's say, trial and error or experimental conversations you have of it wasn't perfect, it wasn't smooth, it wasn't easy, but man, I learned a lot about you. Guess what? The next time is going to be easier. So you're not going to have this discussion and be flawless at it the first time.
Yeah.
Have a grace period of making mistakes or saying something silly or stupid or maybe a little bit of a misunderstanding. But the idea is the effort of discussing this. Having this discussion is actually there's more of the lesson than what you're actually saying.
Yes, and that's very important, ladies. You need to take some notes. This is just the best way to receive words of affirmation from a guy. It is to open up. It is to talk about what you expect, to explain why is it important for you as well. I always tell my client, if you ask for a compliment, the guy will give you a compliment, but he won't really mean it. But if you tell him why it's so important, for example, when you give me a compliment, I feel so good with my body. I feel so good with myself. I feel so beautiful as a woman. I can guarantee you the next time your boyfriend, husband will give you a compliment, it will be so powerful that you will feel empowered. But you need to explain, because as Coach Andres mentioned, it's just not natural for us. We are not thinking about it.
No.
And let's be honest. When I see people telling me, oh, Alex, you're a good coach, I just don't care. I know, first of all, I know I'm a good coach, but that's very cocky to say this, but it's just true. I know I'm a good coach because I'm putting my heart into it. But I don't care about like the compliment, the words, because that's who I feel as a man. I don't like to make differences between men and women, but when it comes to communication, I see that there is a gap between what men want, what women want. Mm-hmm. So, Andres, Coach Andres. So I have a question for you. Let's say that you are in a relationship with someone, and this woman wants you to communicate about your feelings towards her. What do you think that she should do? Okay, she needs to open up. She needs to say what she wants. She needs to, initiate. What else?
Well, again, like you were saying, the idea is the mirror theory, like be it before you ask it. Yeah. Be what you want before you demand it or expect it. And so I actually had this idea, I'm not going to lie, I came up with it not too long ago, earlier this year, in January, and my client loved it.
Okay.
And she's in a long-lasting relationship, not married, but a long-lasting relationship. And again, things are good, things are fine, things are nice, but just more trying to like learn more about the person, wants the guy to open up a little more. So I said, how about the love language challenge? And she's like, what's that? And I literally made it up as I was going, but then I saw where it was going, and then I actually really developed it. And I was like, men love challenges. Men love to compete.
Ooh,
men
I see where it's going
love now. The idea of winning.
Okay.
And especially against their girlfriend or wife.
Oh, man.
Especially you.
That's the best
My
feeling.
goodness gracious. Oh, I'll never forget.
Let's talk about that.
I let my ex-girlfriend score on me once, and I never heard the end of it.
No way. We were playing basketball.
And that's why we broke up.
We lost.
I was trying to win her over. Anyways.
No, this podcast.
You already married. I was trying to win her over.
No, Coach Andres.
I never heard it.
I hate you for that.
Oh, so bad. It was a playful 2-on-2 basketball game.
My day was good until you talk about this experience.
I know. Anyways, but my point is this, that the love language challenge, to make it fun, make it playful, make it non-judgmental, to have their own personal touch to it, is we each express or surprise each other with a different action of each language. So whenever you want, maybe the month of February of Valentine's Day, or maybe the new year, new me. So you have to bring something to the table to have something fun, of quality time, words of affirmation,
physical touch.
Like, show me, and don't make it such a project, but make it fun. Say, let's see who has the most surprising 5 languages of act between you and me. And you're like, okay. It's like, do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong. This is not a discussion. It's not therapy. There's nothing wrong. I love you. Let's have fun with this. And so you see more of the approach of the guy thinking, this is a game. Oh, yeah. So more of his inner confidence comes out. More of his joy comes out. And you might actually see more of a vulnerability coming out compared to, I need you to tell me more. I want to hear more things from you. I'm like,
I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres, and I want the ladies to take some notes. So it's called the Love Language Challenge by Coach Andres. And the idea is that each of you and your partner, can create an action in every of the 5 love languages. Let's just repeat them for the people that don't know about the love languages from Gary Chapman, an amazing book. So let's just repeat the 5 love languages for the women that maybe doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
So number 1 is act of service. We have the physical touch. We have the gift. We will have the words of appreciation.
Words of affirmation. And then quality time. There you go.
Yep.
Yes.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
So this is the 5 love languages, and you can do one action in all of those situations, all of those areas. And what will happen at this time? It will be a fun game.
Yes.
Because once again, if you find a way to make it fun, you would get it. If you go to a man and you tell him, you're not good enough at this.
Challenge accepted.
I want this now. Or you need to do what I want. I'm telling you right now, you will push him away. You need to make it as a challenge. You need to make it as a game. You need to make it fun. But of course, you need to make it as it will empower the relationship.
100%. And I've seen a lot of clients in this situation where, again, when they bring up the love language outside the actual challenge, again, I just came up with this around 6 weeks ago, was that they were so committed and only focused on their only love language of what they're really good at and wouldn't even try to apply the other 4. They're like, so you're only going to choose one flavor. You know, there's 30 more flavors, Baskin Robbins. Like, try something. Maybe you're not as good at it. Maybe you don't like it, but you learn more about yourself. So when someone's stuck on, my love language is this, I prefer receiving this kind of language. Beautiful. Good for you. Get over it. Let's see how you react with the other 4, because it's going to be great. It's only going to bring you closer to that person, bring you closer to yourself to say, wow, I didn't realize act of service. I didn't think of it that much. Now I really appreciate it. Be surprised within yourself and don't limit yourself to only commit to one language or only giving one language. And so try to have fun with this experiment and this challenge where you can really just be more you and make mistakes or be silly or be goofy or be, unique about something.
But let's not forget the most important thing, Coach Andres.
Who wins?
Exactly. Oh, it got me. Shit.
I know.
I was thinking.
What's the prize? What's the prize? What's the prize?
I was thinking I would get Coach Andres, but he got me back.
No.
Yeah, you need to win the game, ladies.
Yes.
We are coaching you now. We are on the bench. You're on the court.
Yes.
But we want to make sure that you win this game.
Yes.
Because that's how you can also surprise your man, and that's how you will make him step up, talk about his feelings without seeing it as a challenge or something negative.
Yeah, it's not such a critical, needy, emotional talk that you got to have. You're actually talking way more than you normally would within this experiment or this challenge, because you're seeing a lot of nonverbal and verbal cues from that person on how they act and show and express their love in 5 different ways. And again, there is no, it's not about price. It's not about extravagant stuff. It's more about just the thought. Those things. If anything, you should have a cap, nothing more than $100 or nothing more than $20. Keep things creative, almost like the Secret Santa.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Keep things limited to a time or a cost where it's like you get creative with it. Don't just buy me a bunch of stuff. Here you go. Like be more unique and have more fun with it.
So that's a very good challenge. Okay, so ladies, you can tell us in the comments if you want to hear more about the Love Languages Challenge. I will orient you to go to coachingwithandres.com. There is your YouTube channel. There is some TikTok as well. Everything is on his website. And I do feel that you will love it. So even myself, I would love to try this. I think that's a very good game I would do with my wife, and I will win, Coach Andres. I know what you are about to say.
I don't doubt
I will win. Okay?
I think you'll use her mom, your mother-in-law, to team up with you, and she'll get some reward of it too.
Of course,
Yes.
of course. I need to find some associates. You know,
Yes.
I need to find a
Yes.
team of people that can help me.
You have
with
a
the game.
mother-in-law, a son, and a dog. What can you do? That's your team.
That's my team. That's my team. So something also I mentioned in my videos is if you want a man to express his feelings, you need to use the specific communication.
Yeah.
Instead of telling him, I love you, I miss you, I want to be with you, just tell him exactly what do you love about him. Because when you use the specific communication, that makes us really easy to respond to you. If you tell us like, I love the fact that you dress well, then we know that we can give you a compliment about your look as well. Or if you say, I love the fact that you always provide for the family, he will tell you how much he's appreciating what you do for the kids. So the specific communication, it's a subconscious tool. He won't realize what's going on. But instead of being very general, the more specific you are, the best it is, because men tend to rebound on what you're saying. That's why Coach Andres was telling you to initiate, because we rebound a lot on what you will mention.
I had one client who was in this situation with the challenge, and she was going for words of affirmation, and she said something that he always took pride in, but never really heard it from her, and now he's doing even more of it. She said, I admire, respect, and feel so blessed how much you anticipate my needs.
That's a powerful sentence.
And he's probably doing all these little things, you know, like creamer in the coffee, kitchen's clean, like little things around the house, like nothing major, like not like my respect and trust. Like, okay, take it easy. Like little things. You still open the door for me. You know what I mean? Or you still treat me like a lady. Or you still have like this chivalry act on me. Like you make me feel special. You still treat me like a princess almost. And you anticipate my needs for the most simple or romantic ways. And maybe I didn't express this, or maybe I just reciprocated it, but I want you to hear it specifically, how much I appreciate you thinking and considering all these little things that I just fall in love with even more with.
But if you follow the 5 love languages, we know that act of service is the number one, usually for men. What does it mean when you say that?
Is it really?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I've seen research, it was act of service for men and words of affirmation for women.
So as in they love acts of service, or they give acts of service?
So they give, and so meaning they love as well. Yeah. And so women, it was words of affirmation, which means like this opposite between actions and words. But the fact is, like, if you tell a guy, I love how you can anticipate my needs, it's maybe the most beautiful, at least for me, it would be the most beautiful compliment I can receive, because it shows to me like, oh, you see everything that I'm trying to do for you.
That's how you know you're more in line with someone compared to just loving someone.
Yeah.
Like, you get me. We're on the same wavelength. We're on the same time frame, where you now, not just that we have similar interests, but we have the similar value on something, or a similar opinion on something. And it feels great to know that you have my back without even telling you what I want, or telling me what I think of. And again, that's just because you're, in a healthy relationship and you're present.
So last question for you, Coach Andres. I'm really curious about this one. How did you develop your ability to talk about your feelings? How did you develop over the years as a person, as a coach, as a human being? Because I feel you're quite good as complimenting people, telling how you feel, sharing your emotions as well. One of the things that I really love about you is this. So tell me a little bit, what did you do, or what happened in your life that created this Coach Andres?
It's a crazy story, and it's something, again, I'm a Cancer, so I don't know if that means anything astrology-wise, that cancerous or emotional or cancerous or sensitive. Take it easy, lady. Cancers aren't emotional and sensitive. I am about important things. My family, values, and morals. Everything else, I could care less. I'm the most easygoing, down-to-earth, go with the flow kind of guy out there. So I'm not going to be, I'm a Cancer, so I know how to talk about everything. What made me more open and comfortable with it was my dad.
Okay.
My dad was someone where he would be in the same moment, like, want to earn his respect, but then again, he would be able to open up and discuss anything so touchy or vulnerable or sensitive. And it's just because of who he was more of a very spiritual Peruvian, Inca, Native American kind of like history, where he was very open about life and discussing the things that meant the most. And always saying, like, a real man can cry, but you better have a reason for it and do something about it. Like, don't cry and do nothing about it. If you're going to cry, there must be towards someone worth it, or what are you going to do about it? And so he always had this way of empowering masculinity, but not in a toxic way. And so I remember clearly, to kind of make a long story short, unfortunately, when he passed away with cancer when I was 17 years old, my last 2 years of high school was his, commitment to chemo. And he was basically always tired after work. And it became more and more obvious of him getting sick. And so for 2 years, every day after school, I would come home and he'd be resting in his bed. And he would ask me to sit down for 2 to 3 hours. And all I want to do is go play basketball. All I want to go do is play video games with my friends. And he would sit me down and he would talk to me. And I had dreams till this day about this, vivid dreams where I'm in that love seat, that love chair, and he's in his bed laying on his back. And he just opened up and shared about everything. He just talked about everything from God to religion to wine to class to women to traveling to dancing to government. He gave me everything, and I didn't realize that he knew his time was up. I just thought that we're going to get over this. We're going to get this. We're going to get through this. We're young and naive. And so I just became more appreciative to what he gave me, all this wisdom on his end, knowing that I didn't really take it as that at the time. And then from that moment on, that following year is when I pursued my first career in acting. And so I was a full-time actor in Los Angeles, doing a lot of film and TV. Still do a little bit here and there in Miami, part-time, but coaching is my calling. Coaching is my mission. And in acting, the classes and the training, the schools, the academy, the programs are all about speak up, open up. You got to see how many colors are on your canvas. You have to be able to you have to be comfortably uncomfortable with everything. And you need to perform it and hold it in. So it really did open up my mind to think things, outside of Pandora's box. Try to expand my comfort zone, as not for me as a person, but more for this character or this story. And it really opened up me psychologically on the sense of just trying to think things differently. And I'll never forget this one story. My acting coach was like, all right, you know what? You're a solid person, Andres. I could tell. Solid backbone. I could tell you come from a good family. but you're just reading the same stuff. You're just still working on personal development and self-love. I need you to get more artistic. I want you to start reading biographies. I want you to start going to museums. I want you to start listening to classical music. I want you to start eating things you normally wouldn't eat. I want you to wear a different shirt you normally wouldn't wear. I'm like, why? He goes, I want to see the reaction and your adaptation on those scenarios. So when you focus on just like a coaching aspect or self-development only, you're going so far. And he's like, we need now more lights. Mm-hmm. We need more color. We need more pizzazz. We need more something. And as an artist, and as an actor, you're like, you're right. And so you kind of open up yourself to a point where like you're so comfortably uncomfortable in anything. You're like, okay, you can't judge me. And that's something you mentioned earlier, which I love what you said, because that's the same way I feel with my coaching. My purpose is bigger than your opinion. So if you don't like my video, it's okay. If you have negative comments, it's okay. You're not going to slow me down because I know and I believe in myself and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people might not get it, but still the idea is to know that it's a skill and a trait in life that you always want to be open to. That's always an endless evolvement. It never ends. It's a beautiful thing.
I love what you mentioned because I think that this is one of your most quality and it comes to your background. And thank you for sharing this story with your dad, but also with your acting teacher, because the idea is everyone can evolve when we get out of the comfort zone. So ladies, you will have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to make him talk. But remember that it's not because he doesn't talk that he's a bad guy. And sometimes we focus so much on what we don't have instead of what we have. So you need to see both pictures in order for you to create an amazing relationship. The journey continues because you have to leave the 5-star review and some comments. You need to go visit Coaching with Andres and my website, French Relationship Expert. We have tons of articles. We work together, so you don't need to think that you will bother us or that touches our ego. But Coaching with Andres, I would really recommend his website and YouTube channel and TikTok. And we would continue to follow you, ladies, and to give you our best into the next episode.
Just to add on one thing last you said on this topic is, ladies, and I've had clients in this situation, is that when you are looking at your relationship and you want some more communication or more vulnerable moments or words of affirmation, if that's your biggest problem, you're in a good relationship.
Yeah,
you're in a good relationship.
That's true.
You're in a good relationship. Don't overvalue good for always needing great. There's only a handful of great moments a year. So if it's good, good is amazing. Good is great. So if you're looking at thinking more of the relationship, trust me, so many women will love to be in your shoes in a minute. Hold on, he's loyal, supportive, caring, trustworthy, respectful, committed, and he doesn't share enough feelings. That's fine. I'll take that.
Yeah. I would tell you that we can still go get something here.
I agree.
But yeah, I understand.
It's a good problem.
It's very important what Coach Andres mentioned is because it's not, the situation is not a problem. It's how can we continue to grow as two people, and we want to share with you both sides, the male sides, and of course we understand your sides. Yeah, but it's always still good, and it's an amazing thing to know that. So we are here to reassure you, and we are here to make him talk a little bit more so you can be happy even a little bit more. Thank you so much, Coach Andres.
Always a pleasure.
See you soon, ladies. Take care of yourself. Bye.